bed. I will tell you when to eat, sleep, and shit. Get up, shitbags! Get your ass out here. Chow time!
Clumsy monkey. Get on your knees and bow down. Looks like I'm gonna have to teach you some respect, little monkey boy.
A group of gangsters is busy packing substances for distribution when a masked man suddenly storms into the room. After overpowering everyone inside, he grabs the substance and prepares to escape. Before he can get away, police officers arrive at the scene and arrest him. The masked man is revealed to be Terry Savage, a former Marine sergeant and highly respected war veteran with an impeccable military record. Before being transferred to prison, Terry receives a visit from Police Commissioner Harvey. Harvey questions how on earth a decorated war hero ended up committing crimes on the streets. Terry explains that the system has failed people like him. Even after risking his life for his country, he now has no money, no support, and no proper health care. He is desperate because his daughter is seriously ill and he cannot afford her medical treatment. Harvey then presents Terry with an offer. He explains that there is a dangerous prison warden under suspicion for corruption, human rights violations, and involvement in drug trafficking. According to Harvey, every attempt to investigate the prison has failed because it is a maximum security private facility protected by organized crime connections and corrupt officials. Harvey wants Terry to enter the prison as an inmate and secretly investigate everything happening inside. In exchange, Harvey promises him a full pardon and the complete removal of his criminal record if he succeeds. At first, Terry rejects the proposal, but the offer becomes impossible to ignore because he urgently needs money for his daughter's medical care. He finally agrees to Harvey's mission. Harvey gives him only 10 days to complete the investigation. Soon afterward, Terry is transported to the prison alongside several other inmates. As soon as they arrive, they are greeted by Lieutenant Killian and another officer, who immediately warn the prisoners that absolute obedience to the warden's rules is mandatory. They make it clear that any form of disobedience will be punished severely. The prisoners are then forced to receive tracking chips injected into their necks so their movements can be monitored throughout the prison at all times. After the procedure, each inmate is assigned to a cell. Terry quickly notices that this prison is far more dangerous than an ordinary correctional facility. The place is filled with violent criminals feared for their brutality. When Terry finally enters his cell, he secretly discovers a hidden cell phone underneath the bed. Harvey had arranged for the phone to be smuggled inside, so Terry could report any illegal activities happening within the prison walls. Later, while eating in the dining hall, Terry is confronted by a prisoner named Chris from the Aryan Brotherhood, who tries to provoke him into a fight. Although Terry is fuming inside, he chooses to stay nonchalant and ignore the insults. The next day, while spending time in the prison yard, another inmate named Freeway approaches him.
This motherfucker still doesn't realize where he is yet. What's your story, black man? You an ally or an enemy? I'm my own man. Well, let me give you some advice. You're gonna need allies. Now, you could join my family. We protect our own. I fly solo. Yeah, you're gonna die solo, too.
That evening, Terry witnesses Freeway being attacked by several inmates in the laundry room. Despite being outnumbered, Freeway easily defeats all of them. Later that same night, Chris and his gang corner Terry inside a cell and attack him. During the fight, another prisoner suddenly steps in to help Terry fight them off. Moments later, the wardens rush in and break up the brawl. As punishment, everyone involved, including Terry, is thrown into isolation cells. The following day, Killian brings both Chris and Terry before the prison's chief warden, Lucas. Lucas punishes Chris for attacking a new inmate without permission and makes it clear that violence inside the prison only happens under his control. After dealing with Chris, Lucas speaks privately with Terry. He apologizes for the attack and says he has been impressed by Terry's military background and combat skills. Lucas believes Terry could become very useful to him. Lucas then introduces Terry to a secret operation inside the prison known as the Dungeon. He explains that it is an underground fighting arena where prisoners battle each other. Lucas offers Terry a chance to become one of the fighters and promises that cooperating with him could lead to an early release so he can reunite with his daughter. After the meeting, Lucas gives Terry a fighter's uniform and tells him to meet his new cellmate. A female warden named Gina escorts Terry to another cell. Surprisingly, Gina recognizes Terry as the man who saved her life when they served in Afghanistan. Even though she admires him, she says that in this prison, she will be in no favor as she's just doing her job. Terry is further surprised to discover that his new roommate is the same prisoner who helped him during the fight with Chris. The prisoner introduces himself as Bones. Curious about Bones' fighting abilities, Terry asks where he learned to fight so well. Bones explains that his father was a martial arts master who trained him from a young age. He warns Terry that the dungeon fights are extremely brutal and dangerous, but he promises to help him prepare for what is coming. Later that night, Terry sneaks the cell phone into the commode and secretly uses it to contact Harvey. He informs him about the dungeon and the illegal fighting operation taking place inside the prison. The next day, Bones takes Terry to the prison gym and begins training him in martial arts techniques for the upcoming fights. During the training session, Bones explains which mafia groups control the prison and which inmates are the most dangerous. He specifically points out Freeway, who currently holds the title of the prison's strongest fighter and reigning champion. Terry eventually learns that selected prisoners fight every Friday night inside the dungeon, and that evening it becomes his turn to enter the arena. Wearing his fighter's uniform, Terry is escorted by Killian and Gina through the prison corridors while Bones accompanies him. When they finally arrive, Terry sees Lucas sitting proudly on a throne overlooking the fighting pit. As Terry steps into the dungeon, Lucas explains that the arena hosts illegal no-rules fights that are broadcast live throughout the prison and sold online for profit. At that moment, a brutal match between rival mafia representatives is already underway. Freeway dominates the fight with ease and once again proves why he is considered the top fighter in the prison. After Freeway's victory, it becomes Terry's turn to enter the ring. His opponent is a fighter representing a Mexican mafia group. The prisoners loudly cheer as the match begins, eager to see what the new fighter can do. Lucas is especially pleased by Terry's performance and clearly sees greater potential in him. After the match ends, Freeway approaches Lucas to discuss the reward he was promised for remaining champion. Lucas tells him that he can ask for anything he wants. Freeway immediately demands the release that Lucas previously promised him. However, Lucas refuses and coldly informs him that he must win at least one more fight before earning his freedom. Furious over the betrayal, Freeway warns Lucas that he could start a riot with the support of his gang and the other prisoners if the promise is not honored. Later, Terry receives a visit from a lawyer named Jeanette. She explains that she has spent years helping war veterans, especially African Americans, who were unfairly treated by the legal system. Jeanette says she wants to help Terry because she believes he never deserved to be imprisoned, especially after risking everything to get money for his daughter's medical treatment. However, because Terry is secretly working for Harvey and investigating the prison, he refuses her offer and avoids revealing the truth. The next day in the dining hall, Freeway confronts Terry and makes it clear that he is unhappy about Terry's victory in the dungeon. He warns Terry not to challenge him or create problems if he wants to survive peacefully inside the prison. Not long afterward, Terry returns to the ring for another fight. This time, his opponent is a highly skilled fighter from an Asian mafia group known for his arrogance and martial arts abilities. The crowd expects a difficult battle, but Terry shocks everyone by defeating Dragon with a single punch. The victory instantly increases Terry's reputation throughout the prison and deeply frustrates Freeway, who begins to fear that Terry may replace him as the strongest inmate in the facility. Back inside their cell, Bones opens up about the reason he ended up in prison. He reveals that he killed the man who harmed his younger sister. Terry sympathizes with him and tells Bones that he still believes he is a good man despite what happened. In return, Bones praises Terry for remaining devoted to his daughter even during the hardest moments of his life. The following day, while Terry is working inside the prison, several members of Freeway's gang suddenly ambush him. Gina quickly steps in and tries to stop the attack, but during the chaos, one of the gang members stabs her. The situation immediately draws Lucas's attention, and he angrily summons Freeway to explain what happened. Freeway insists that he never ordered the attack and claims his men acted on their own. As punishment, Lucas orders Freeway to fight Terry in the dungeon. However, Freeway refuses, arguing that Terry has not yet earned the right to challenge him directly. Lucas ignores the protest and decides to punish Freeway's gang for injuring one of his wardens. He executes 2 of them without mercy as a warning to Freeway about maintaining control over his people and obeying prison rules. After making his point, Lucas once again orders Freeway to fight Terry, leaving him with no choice but to accept. As the fight approaches, Terry continues training intensely while secretly sending Harvey detailed information about the prison conditions, the illegal operations, and the abuses taking place inside the facility. Eventually, the highly anticipated fight between Terry and Freeway begins.
Let's get it on!
Terry finally defeats Freeway and takes his place as the prison's new top dog. The victory completely changes the balance of power inside the prison, and the inmates begin respecting Terry as the strongest man in the facility. The following afternoon, Lucas invites Terry to a private meeting. Lucas thanks him for winning the fight because the footage generated huge profits from the illegal broadcasts. Impressed by Terry's popularity and strength, Lucas appoints him as his trusted representative among the prisoners. He also asks Terry to help oversee his secret drug business operating inside the prison. While pretending to cooperate, Terry secretly collects samples of the drugs being distributed throughout the facility as evidence. Lucas then shows him the dead bodies of the 2 gang members he executed earlier. Lucas claims he killed them to prove that he is serious about protecting Terry inside the prison. But the scene also exposes the horrifying human rights abuses Lucas has been committing all along. Even after everything Lucas offers him, Terry refuses to become part of the operation. He tells Lucas that he is not interested in power or money and only wants the freedom that was promised to him so he can return to his daughter. Lucas calmly responds by introducing Terry to someone waiting inside the office. To Terry's shock, the man turns out to be Harvey. At that moment, Terry realizes the entire mission was a trap from the beginning. Harvey and Lucas have been secretly working together and running illegal operations inside the prison, including drug trafficking and the underground fights. They never intended to expose corruption. Instead, they wanted to recruit Terry because of his military combat skills and his experience stealing drugs from street gangs. Even after learning the truth, Terry still refuses to work for them. However, the situation becomes even worse when he discovers that Bones has been taken hostage. Harvey and Lucas threaten to kill Bones if Terry refuses to cooperate. Left with no other option, Terry is forced to obey their orders. As time passes, Terry and Bones secretly begin building support among the prisoners for an uprising against Lucas and Harvey. Because Terry has earned the respect of the inmates through his victories in the dungeon, many prisoners willingly join his side. The growing hatred toward Lucas's cruel and arrogant behavior also helps unite the inmates behind Terry's plan. Needing legal support, Terry finally reaches out to Jeanette and accepts her help. He secretly gives her all the evidence he has gathered against Lucas and Harvey, including proof of the prison's illegal activities. Harvey had carelessly failed to secure some of the evidence properly, allowing Terry the opportunity to expose everything. For the next major fight, Lucas deliberately brings in a dangerous fighter from another prison named Chaka to face Terry in the dungeon. The brutal fight becomes another major event inside the prison. Immediately after the victory, Terry gives the signal for the prisoners to begin the uprising. Chaos quickly spreads throughout the prison as inmates riot against the guards and Lucas's men. Armed officers rush in to suppress the rebellion, but they are overwhelmed because the prisoners vastly outnumber them. During the confusion, Lucas attempts to escape the prison. Terry notices his actions and chases after him through the facility until the 2 men finally confront each other face to face. Lucas pulls out a gun and fires at Terry as he rushes toward him. Although Terry is hit, he survives because he is wearing a bulletproof vest underneath his clothes. Moments later, police reinforcements from headquarters storm into the prison and finally take control of the situation. Lucas is arrested and order is restored throughout the facility. The police are only able to arrive in time because Jeanette reported the criminal activities taking place inside the prison and exposed the conspiracy involving Lucas and his associates. With the evidence Terry gathered, the authorities are finally able to uncover the truth behind the illegal fights, the drug operations, and the corruption connected to the prison. After everything is over, Terry meets with Jeanette, who informs him that the government has officially granted him a full pardon for helping expose the criminal conspiracy involving Police Commissioner Harvey, Lucas, and several corrupt prison officials. She also tells him that the government will completely cover his daughter's medical treatment until she fully recovers. Before leaving the prison, Terry takes a moment to thank Bones for standing beside him during his time behind bars and for helping him survive the dangerous situation inside the facility. As Terry walks out of the prison, the inmates cheer for him and show their respect for what he accomplished. In the end, Terry is finally reunited with his daughter. Jeanette also succeeds in helping both Bones and Freeway secure their release from prison. Meanwhile, Lucas is left alone in a special prison cell, forced to face punishment for all the crimes and cruelty he committed. My name is Sid, and that's the end of the 2022 action thriller movie, The System. How did you like this recap? Let me know in the comments below.